This is Swiftlet, a Taylor Swift podcast with a literary twist. Today's episode is another installment of Marvelous Motifs. I will be exploring the way Swift writes about love as a game. As always, I am your host, Peyton Edwards. The idea of love as a game is a frequent one in music, from Fleetwood Mac's Dreams to Lady Gaga's iconic Poker Face, which uses the game of poker as a metaphor for love. And recently, Maisie Peters' BSC. If you don't love me, what was April? You played a game, but I run the table. There are plenty of other examples I could give, but those are some of my favorites. Swift herself has certainly offered up a few examples of her own. Throughout her discography, Swift uses various kinds of games, such as cards, tricks, and scores, and other references to explore different aspects of love. All but her first album features some reference to love as a game. Let's dive in, shall we? Love as a Game on Fearless. The first appearance of love in games being associated is in the Fearless track, Come In With the Rain. This lyric is fairly straightforward, with Swift sharing her dislike for games and relationships, and conceding that if she has to deal with them, to do so during the day. She would rather her partner come to their senses and make an effort for their relationship like she had in the past. Love as a Game on Speak Now. The track Dear John features a few lyrics tying love and games together. The first is a lyric, "And I lived in your chess game, but you changed the in the opening verse. This lyric presents the relationship as one akin to a game of strategy and something out of her control. On the second chorus, she sings, "Don't you think 19's too young to be played by the dark, twisted games when I loved you so." These lyrics see her questioning her former partner's actions and believing they were not the proper response to her showing them love. On the bridge, she claims, "You are an expert at sorry and keeping the lines blurry, never impressed by me acing your tests." These lyrics continue to expand upon the various mind games she felt she was playing in whilst in the relationship. To me, the first line holds double meaning. The first being the more obvious idea of her partner constantly apologizing, though not completely sincerely, but well enough that she believes that maybe the next time will be different and it won't happen again. The second one is, I will admit, a bit of a stretch. When I was younger and listening to the song, I always read the line as a reference to the board game Sorry, where players move their pawns around a board and often knock their opponents out of place and accompany their move with the apologetic phrase. Though I doubt Swift was thinking of the board game when penning the song, this reading of it adds another level to the idea of games and love presented in the line and the song as a whole. These lyrics stress how unsure she felt of herself while in the relationship because of her partner. The song Ours offers a different interpretation of the games mentioned in Dear John. She sings on the bridge, "And I love the riddles that you speak." This lyric sees the games as exciting and a little challenge for Swift, which is a more lighthearted take on those same games. The opening lyric of Foolish One introduces the idea of love as a card game. "My cards are on the table, yours are in your hand." As mentioned in the Marvelous Motif episode focusing on hands and physical contact as an expression of love, this metaphor sees Swift being more open and vulnerable in the relationship, while her partner is closed off both in his emotions and expressing his love. Love as a Game on Red. On State of Grace, Swift declares, "Love is a ruthless game, unless you play it good and right." This line presents Swift as having more knowledge about love, thanks to her having more experiences with it. She also introduces the notion that there seems to be a way to win at it, which is one that she hadn't presented previously, and presented it as something that she had only ever lost at. On the title track Red, she states, "Fighting with him this lyric, Swift demonstrates that the fights the couple would share would be frustrating, with no winner or clear resolve for either party in moving their relationship forward. Though the idea of a crossword might be a bit out of line with what is traditionally considered to be a game, it fits the idea of the theme at hand, with a clear win in a solution and a loss in not having an answer. I would also consider a crossword a type of puzzle, which I would classify as a game as well, since it can be done independently or with others, can be challenging and easy at times, and has a clear win in a completion of the piece. The line,
I pull at every thread, trying to solve the puzzles in his head,
in the vault track Forever Winter, presents Swift attempting to help someone she loves out by trying to reassure them and be there for them. This sees Swift associating love and games in a more platonic sense than the other lyrics in her discography. Love as a Game on 1989. On the iconic blank space, the motif is clearly present. She asks prospective partners on the first verse,
love's a game, wanna play.
On the chorus, she sings,
'Cause you know I love the players and you love the game.
This line sees Swift embracing the character that the media created of her, who dates for sport and relishes in the chase and the way love can be like a game. The track, All You Had to Do Was Stay, once again connects the idea of love and puzzles with the lyrics,
I've been picking up the pieces of the mess you made. People like you always want back the love they pushed aside, but people like me are gone forever when you say goodbye.
Swift finds herself attempting to put herself back together after the end of a relationship. She knows that rekindling things wouldn't be the easiest thing to do and would require pieces to be rearranged again. She echoes Fleetwood Mac with the simple lyrics,
'Cause the players gonna play
on Shake It Off. On Wonderland, she sings,
all fun and games till somebody loses their mind.
This lyric presents the pitfalls that can come from a whirlwind romance while using the story of Alice in Wonderland as the base structure to map her relationship onto. It also envisions games of love as something that seemingly are not that serious, but actually are. The card motif reappears in the New Romantics lyrics,
It's poker, you can't see it in my face, but I'm about to play my ace.
In a deck of cards, an ace is the highest card and can only be beat by another ace. In a game of poker, it can be valued either low or high depending on the style of play, which adds an element of surprise to the card. These lines see Swift getting ready to surprise a potential partner with her next move, and she predicts herself to come out as a victor. The card motif pops back up on Say Don't Go in the lyrics,
Trying to see the cards that you won't show. I'm about to fold unless you say don't go.
As mentioned in the 1989 Vault episode, this lyric is closer to the one in Foolish One and doesn't quite have the confidence that she has with her hand in New Romantics. Love as a Game on Reputation. The bridge of Ready For It sees Swift relishing in the game of love similarly to the lyrics on Blank Space.
Baby, let those games begin. Let those games begin. Let those games begin now. Baby, let those games begin. Let those games begin. Let those games begin.
These lines depict her as welcoming the ensuing games, both in regards to the new relationship she was embarking on, and the games that would ensue from the media at the news of her being in a relationship. On Endgame, Swift acknowledges her reputation that the media has given her and assures her possible partner of her actual intentions with the lyrics,
I know what they all say. But I ain't trying to play. I wanna be your endgame.
On the bridge, she confesses,
You've been calling my bluff on all my usual tricks, so here's the truth from my red lips.
which sees her adopting a more serious tone and giving up any games she might have played at the start. She once again leans into the ideas that those have had about her in terms of her partners with the lyrics,
I never trust a playboy, but they love me.
on I Did Something Bad. These lyrics portray her as not trusting or typically going for those that are seen as players and how they often chase after her. The track So It Goes mixes a few motifs together. On the chorus, she sings,
And all the pieces fall right into place.
which depicts the relationship as a puzzle, with her and her partner fitting together easily and almost naturally. The lyric,
All eyes on me, your illusionist.
on the second verse, pulls on the idea of her playing tricks on her partner as introduced in Endgame, and sees her creating illusions to comfort her partner. On the bridge, she sings,
You did a number on me, but honestly, baby, who's counting? I did a number on you, but honestly, baby, who's counting? You did a number on me, but honestly, baby, who's counting? Who's counting? 1, 2, 3.
This introduces the idea of Taylor and her partner keeping score of each other's actions as if it were a competition, and though she claims not to be keeping track, she actually is. Love as a game on Lover. On Cruel Summer, Swift asserts,
Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. What doesn't kill me makes me want you more.
when it comes to love. This presents the idea of those that take risks and play games in love to be like devils, and those that don't to be more angelic and against those actions. Swift expands on these lyrics in the music video for Lover, where Swift and her partner are seen playing a few board games. The first is named after that Cruel Summer lyric and claims to be, quote, the only game that questions your answers, end quote. It is suited for ages 12 to adult and is for 2 to 4 players. The image on the box is that of a woman's hand rolling 6 red dice. The second game is King of Hearts that sees Scrabble tiles being placed on it spelling out Afterglow, an Easter egg for the track Lover, and is the game that she and her partner are first seen playing. The third game shown is Breakable Heaven, yet another reference to Cruel Summer. This one is for 2 players and is ages 10 and up. The box features 5 broken hearts hanging from string in the sky. In the fearless room of the Lover house, she and her partner are depicted playing chess. These associations strongly tie the notions of love and games together. The track The Man tackles the way her dating history would have been perceived if she were a man. She sings on the first verse,
They'd say I played the field before I found someone to commit to.
which stands in contrast to the negative player image she garnered in her early 20s. The lines,
And they would toast to me, let the players play. I'd be just like Leo in Saint-Tropez.
again touches on that label bestowed upon her and how it would be celebrated rather than criticized, and claims she would be similar to Leonardo DiCaprio, who famously dates younger women. These lyrics present the game of love as something she would consistently win at and not be judged as harshly on, even though Swift doesn't like to play games as those would like to think she does. On Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, Swift uses high school dynamics to act as a metaphor for American politics, and in particular, a high school football game. She sings on the chorus,
The whole school is rolling fake dice. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It's you and me, there's nothing like this.
These lyrics see the dice that first appeared in Cruel Summer returning and again creates a negative connotation between games and love with these lines. In this case, the dice in the game are fake, but the consequences that their roles have on actual people are not, and Swift is warning against partaking in those sorts of games. The last lyric demonstrates the tie to love with her claiming that there's nothing quite like her hopes for a better future and the fate of American democracy. The track Paper Rings sees Swift detailing the start of a relationship with the lyrics,
Cat and mouse for a month or 2 or 3. Now I wake up in the night and watch you breathe.
This shows Swift admitting to her and her partner playing little games with each other at the start of the relationship before they decided to go all in and take things seriously. The lyrics,
Back when we were card sharks playing games, I thought you were leading me on.
and
But then you called, showed your hand. I turned around before I hit the tunnel, sat on the roof, you and I.
on Cornelia Street mark the return of the card motif. These lyrics present Swift as believing her partner to be playing games early on in their relationship and her not wanting to pursue things further if that were the case. The final lyric echoes the one in Paper Rings, with her partner being vulnerable and demonstrating that he wasn't playing games with her. The track It's Nice to Have a Friend features the lyrics,
Call my bluff, call you babe.
These lines call back to the tricks and bluffs seen on the Reputation songs Endgame and So It Goes, and similarly see Swift caving and being honest with her partner. Love as a Game on Folklore. On the opening track, The One, Swift sings on the second verse,
We never painted by the numbers, baby, but we were making it count. You know the greatest loves of all time are over now.
These lyrics play on the idea of a color by number activity and the idea of keeping score in a relationship and making every action count to fostering that love. Swift presents the notion that she and this partner didn't do things in expected or traditional ways, but it was what worked for them. The song Cardigan features the lyrics,
But I knew you, playing hide and seek and giving me a weekend's eye.
This presents her partner as being unpredictable in terms of how open they were with her, as if the two were constantly playing a game of hide and seek, where she was the one doing the seeking. On Hoax, she sings on the bridge,
You knew you won, so what's the point of keeping score?
This goes back to the bridge lyric in So It Goes, that saw her being the one keeping count in the relationship. However, this lyric twists it so that her partner is the one who is keeping tally of moves in the relationship as if it were a game, even though the game itself was over. Love Has a Game on Evermore. The opening track, Willow, features the lyrics,
Like you were a trophy or a champion ring. If there was one prize I'd cheat to win.
These lyrics present the idea that her partner is something that she is chasing after and attempting to win in a game. Happiness features a couple of lyrics that play upon the idea of love and games. She sings on the first verse,
Showed you all of my hiding spots.
which calls to my mind the lyric in Cardigan, but in this instance she is letting her partner in rather than pushing them away, which could be perceived as her playing a game with them. She opens the second verse with the lyrics,
Tell me, when did your winning smile begin to look like a smirk?
These lyrics see something that was once a comforting expression from her partner, turning to something that causes pain in games that take on a darker tone than they did at the start of the relationship. On Coney Island, the lyrics,
Sorry for not winning you an arcade ring.
are reminiscent of the ones in Willow. This time, though, both she and her partner are unable to give one another what they really need. It also calls to mind carnival games, which are notoriously rigged for players not to win, implying that this relationship was one that was not meant to last. The track, Cowboy Like Me, sees Swift narrating,
And you asked me to dance, but I said dancing is a dangerous game. Oh, I thought this is gonna be one of those things. Now I know I'm never gonna love again.
These lyrics introduce the concept of dancing as a metaphor for love, which is another theme dominant in her discography. In this case, she believes that dancing leads to a game that she will inevitably lose at, but she actually ended up being surprised by the turn of events in this particular relationship. On the bridge of Long Story Short, she declares,
No more keeping score, now I just keep you warm. No more tug of war, now I just know there's more.
These lyrics see her putting her past of keeping count in the games they played at the start of the relationship behind her and instead taking things as they go. Love Has a Game on Midnights. The lyrics,
My smile is like I won a contest, and to hide that would be so dishonest.
in Snow on the Beach, recall the lyrics in Willow and Happiness, but see her actually winning the game by having them as her partner. The song, Mastermind, is filled with the motif. She ends the first verse with the lyric,
Checkmate, I couldn't lose.
This calls back to the chess imagery in Dear John, but this time she is the one in control of the situation. She reveals on the second verse,
You see, all the wisest women had to do it this way. 'Cause we were born to be the pawn in every lover's game.
These lyrics demonstrate that she has no choice but to scheme and play games in relationships, or she would end up being at the mercy of someone else's game. On the bridge, she confesses,
No one wanted to play with me as a little kid, so I've been scheming like a criminal ever since, to make them love me and make it seem effortless.
These present her reasons for games as an easy way to find her way into others' lives and have love come easy to her. During the song's performance on the Eras Tour, the stage turns into a giant chessboard and her dancers become the pawns in her game. Every move is carefully orchestrated with her conducting the moves of those around her, placing her in full control of the game at hand. The 3 a.m. track High Infidelity features the lyrics,
Lock broken, slur spoken, wound open, game token. I didn't know you were keeping count. Rain soaking, blind hoping. You said I was freeloading. I didn't know you were keeping count.
These short descriptive details give listeners an insight into a particular relationship of Swift's where her every move was being kept track of by her partner and used against her at times. The image of a game token makes the relationship appear as if she were playing a video game. On Dear Reader, Swift sings,
"No one sees when you lose when you're playing solitaire."
This lyric marks the return of the card motif seen in her previous works. Solitaire is a game played independently, and this lyric presents the idea that she often loses when people are under the impression that she always wins. Love as a Game on soundtrack and feature songs. The song This Is What You Came For, which was penned by Swift and her partner at the time, Calvin Harris, features the lyrics,
"We go fast with the game we play. Who knows why it's gotta be this way?"
These lyrics present the idea that Swift doesn't have a reason as to why they play the games they do in relationships. On I Don't Want to Live Forever, the lyric, reignites the puzzle motif with her wanting to be together with her former partner and not with someone else. The track Renegade sees that puzzle motif yet again reappearing on the lyrics,
"The shape of you was jagged and weak. There was nowhere for me to stay, but I stayed anyway. And if I would have known how many pieces you had crumbled into, I might have let them lay."
These see Swift staying beside her partner, though there was no perfect place for her to fit, but doing so out of her love for them and their relationship. Instead of letting the pieces of her partner stay as they fell, she attempts to help them rearrange themselves and helps put them back together. Swift's verse on The Joker and the Queen includes the return of the card motif seen previously in her discography.
"I've been played before, if you hadn't guessed. So I kept my cards close to my foolproof vest. But you called my bluff and saw through all my tells. And then you went all in, and we left together."
These lyrics recount the stories told across the lover tracks Paper Rings, Cornelia Street, and It's Nice to Have a Friend, through a game of cards, and presents her as guarded to the relationship at first, until her partner sees through her. On The Alcott, Swift sings on the chorus,
It's the last thing you want,
"Tell me which side are you on?
it's the first thing you do.
This simple lyric conjures the idea of teams in the relationship and being uncertain where her partner stands in terms of the relationship. Throughout her discography, Swift makes frequent use of the idea of love as a game through various references and connotations. At times, Swift is the one conducting the game, and at other times, she is simply trying to keep up with the games her partner is playing in the relationship. Thank you for listening to this episode of Swiftlet. This episode was written and edited by me, Peyton Edwards. I hope you enjoyed listening, and if you did, please rate, review, and share this podcast. You know, all of that good stuff. You can connect with me on Instagram and the site formerly known as Twitter at Swiftlet Podcast. I'll see you in the new year with new episodes, and I hope your holidays are safe and joyous.